So 30%. 30% of Washington is Christian. That includes Mormonism, Universalism, and Unitarianism individuals who claim to be Christian. I was shocked by this information that I found in an article in the Huffington Post. Now, this isn't from 2 years ago, 5 years ago. This article was written this year, earlier in, I believe it was June. Now, many times here especially, we hear about missionaries going overseas and the great work that they do. And I'm not here to belittle their work. What I want to know is what we are doing here for the poor non-believer down the street who hasn't heard the gospel, who hasn't heard a word of the grace that we have been given. I want to know, why is it that oftentimes we forget about those who are closest to us when we want to focus on those who are so far away? Now, it could be where we live and the time that we live in, where it's easier to reach those overseas because they're so desperate for the knowledge that we have. They're so desperate for the freedom that we have that they aren't so willing to turn us away. Worse is now, even in America, they're trying to push us down for what we believe in, because what we believe in isn't politically correct. Paul said himself, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, then to the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, but the righteous man shall live by faith." In Romans 1:16-17. At times, we do become ashamed when people come to us and list the reasons why Christians are so wrong. Our natural response is to back down, to be ashamed, to maybe even question our beliefs, to think maybe, oh, well, maybe they're right, maybe that belief is outdated, so if I just keep believing in God, but change that belief to be accepting. But we're not supposed to be ashamed of our lives, of our beliefs. We are given the greatest gift of our lives, that we could share it. We were meant to be the righteous one who lives by faith. Part of our responsibility is to show people what it's like to be a Christian. So if we can't do that in our own home, how do we expect to do that overseas? So I challenge you to live out your faith. Maybe it's as simple as going to that neighbor down the street who you don't know, who maybe they can't do their yard work, and you're just being Jesus to them. Maybe it's building that relationship so that you can one day tell them about the great gift that you've been given. Because it only takes a small seed to grow a mighty tree. I want you to share your faith so that we can raise that 30%. I want to challenge you to live without shame of being a Christian, because in a world where I live in a state where only 30% of us are going to celebrate in heaven, I don't even want to think about that. That's just a sad and sobering thought to me, that one day, I'll have to see that 70% of Washington is left here, while only 30% of us are rejoicing. So I ask you to take that, receive it, and think about it.